In November 1944, a patrol of Allied scouts entered a dense forest in eastern Poland. Their orders were simple: confirm that German forces had retreated. By morning, only 2 men came back, pale, shaking, unable to speak their own language. Their reports were short, fragmented. They spoke of voices echoing through the trees, orders, commands. But the strange thing was, those commands came from a German officer who'd been confirmed dead weeks earlier. No enemy was found, no bodies, no gunfire, just 12 soldiers walking into silence, and a forest that somehow spoke back. Stay with me, because by the end of this story you'll understand why no map marks that forest today, and why the military still refuses to discuss what happened inside. The report comes from the archives of the British 2nd Recon Division. Codename: Operation Elmwood. Location: Janów Forest, near the Polish-Ukrainian border. Captain Thomas Hall led a mixed patrol of 12 British and Polish scouts. Their objective: locate a rumoured German command unit that had gone silent after the front collapsed. Locals warned them not to go. They said the woods remembered voices, that soldiers who entered never came back, or came back different. Hall dismissed it as folklore. To him, the war had already twisted men's minds enough. What's one more superstition? But that night, as the wind died, even he began to notice something wrong. At 2:15 a.m., Private Mason radioed Hall. He'd heard someone shouting orders, faint, deliberate, rhythmic. Bereitmachen, Feuer, halt, prepare, fire, stop. Hall ordered radio silence. He thought it was interference, maybe another Allied unit's chatter bleeding through. But Mason swore it wasn't radio static, it came from the trees. When they swept the perimeter, they found old footprints, maybe months old, Wehrmacht boots, a single rusted helmet, and the faint smell of burnt cordite, like gunfire, that had never fully faded. Hall marked the spot on his map. The coordinates matched an ambush site where German Captain Reinhard Vogt had been killed 3 weeks earlier. By dawn, the men were restless. Their compasses spun out. The forest canopy blocked the sun so completely, no one knew which direction they'd come from. At 0900 hours, the radio operator picked up a signal, faint but structured. A male voice speaking in German. Left flank, advance, maintain position. Hall froze. He recognized the voice. Vogt again. The same man whose death was confirmed in Allied records. For a moment they heard the sound of boots, synchronized marching, heavy breath, and then nothing. The men argued. Was it a trick? An echo? Some hidden German detachment using a loudspeaker? Hall ordered them to move toward the sound. They found no soldiers, only a burned German field map pinned to a tree with a bayonet. The paper's edges were still warm. That night, things unraveled. Private Langley vanished first. One moment, he was standing guard by the campfire. The next, only his rifle remained. Then the whispers began. Not random voices, commands, clear, perfect German. Each man heard a different order. Mason heard, advance forward. Hall heard, hold your ground. And the radio operator heard nothing at all, only the hum of white noise. They tried to retreat, but every path curved back to their starting point. It was as if the forest had folded in on itself. At 3 o'clock, the last message Hall sent was logged in Allied records. Multiple units detected, no visual confirmation, request extraction. Then silence. 3 days later, Polish locals found 2 men wandering the edge of the forest, Hall and the operator. They were dehydrated, confused, and speaking a mixture of Polish and German. When questioned, Hall only repeated one phrase. He's still giving orders. British command dismissed the report as psychological fatigue. The forest was declared unstable terrain and marked off-limits. But decades later, a Polish historian named Wiktor Lewandowski uncovered an older story. from 1812 during Napoleon's invasion. A German regiment was trapped in the same woods after following false orders heard at night. Their own commander was found shot by his own men. The survivors described hearing the same voice shouting from the trees. Each generation someone heard the forest speaking again. Same words, same commands, always in German. No one lives near Janów Forest now, even hunters avoid it. Locals say you can still hear marching there in winter, boots crunching through leaves that never decay. Others say the forest repeats the last battle it ever saw, endlessly, without men, only voices. Was it stress? Echoes trapped in the cold air? Or did something deeper linger there? The will of soldiers who never accepted they'd already lost. Whatever happened, Captain Hall never spoke again after his discharge. He spent the rest of his life drawing maps of that same forest, but each one ended at the same point, a black circle marked with a single word: forked. And that's why the forest near Janów remains untouched to this day. Because sometimes the battlefield never ends, it just keeps giving orders. What do you think really happened in Janów Forest? Was it the echo of war, or something time refuses to silence? Share your theory below. And if you want more forgotten war mysteries like this one, subscribe, because next time on Relic Remnants, we'll uncover another truth history tried to bury.